That's what happens when you get married before me, even though you're ugly. That tattered wedding dress suits you perfectly. I'm sure both the groom and your relatives will agree. It's just right for you.
My sister Mia laughed heartily as she mocked me, her voice dripping with amusement. For a moment, despair threatened to swallow me whole. But as her older sister, I can't let Mia remain this lousy excuse of an adult. I'll show her how happy I am and make her regret every last thing she's done. My name is Emma. I'm 27 years old. I recently registered my marriage with Kevin, my partner of 3 years, and our wedding day is just around the corner. Planning the invitations, choosing the menu, selecting floral decorations, it's been an exhausting process. But knowing it's a chance to express gratitude to the friends and family who've supported us has kept me motivated. I've also been meticulous about choosing my dress. A wedding dress is something you wear only once in your life. Since I was little, I've dreamed of wearing a pure white wedding gown. The dress was pretty expensive. Do you think it's too much for someone like me to wear?
I think that dress suits you perfectly, Emma. Plus, this has been your dream, right? You've been saving up just for this day.
Kevin, thank you. You're right. It's my big day. I should wear the dress proudly. The dress I chose was a gorgeous design by a famous designer, adorned with layers of tulle and lace. It was love at first sight. Just imagining myself in the dress, standing next to my kind husband in our dream venue, filled me with excitement. It was the happiest I'd ever been. But there was one problem in my life.
Emma, are you sure Kevin really wanted to marry you? I bet he's already regretting it.
Mia, you can't say things like that, even as a joke. While visiting my parents' house to run an errand, I found my younger sister Mia lounging on the couch with a sly grin. It wasn't just a joke. I knew all too well that Mia meant every word.
I mean, Kevin is so handsome. Don't you think he's out of your league?
Looks aren't everything. Marriage isn't about appearances.
Yeah, maybe coming from you. That's believable. Honestly, I never thought you'd get married before me.
Enough already. Mia has always been the overly confident type. She spends endless time perfecting her hair and makeup, claiming it's all in the name of catching men's attention. She constantly checks herself in the mirror. Ever since we were kids, she would say things like,
My sis, Emma, is ugly, unlike me.
She always tried to one-up me. Well, I've never felt like I've lost to Mia in anything other than looks. While our sibling relationship has always been rocky, Mia's behavior has become particularly bizarre lately.
Hey, Emma. Remember when Kevin came over to meet our family and saw me? Did he say anything about me?
Say what?
Oh, like, wow, what a cute sister you have. Or, your sister's so much more beautiful than you.
I'm leaving now. I sighed in disbelief and turned to leave the house, but Mia muttered something under her breath.
You got lucky this time, but don't get cocky. Ugly. Just wait and see.
What did you say?
Just go now.
Mia has always been like this, so I didn't pay her much attention and went home. Despite her attitude, Mia still showed up with our parents to my pre-wedding photo shoot, tagging along out of sheer curiosity.
So, this is the dress you'll wear on your big day, huh?
Mia, please step back. The shoot is about to start. I was preparing for my solo shots in the Grand Cathedral where the ceremony would take place, but Mia kept hovering around me.
All right. Geez, you're acting all high and mighty just because you're the bride.
It's not like I'm trying to steal the spotlight, but today is my pre-wedding photo shoot. If the staff gets delayed, it would be inconvenient for them, right?
Emma, you're the perfect example of someone who has to rely on others' goodwill because they're so plain. Just so you know, that dress doesn't suit you at all.
Mia leaned close and whispered so no one else could hear, her words cutting deep. What the? Before I could retort, she smiled sweetly and walked away. The photo shoot began, but her words lingered in my mind, making it impossible for me to relax. My forced smiles only made the shoot drag on, adding to my frustration.
Oh my, Emma, are you feeling nervous?
The person who spoke to me was Kevin's mother, my future mother-in-law, Monica. I had only met her a few times, but she was a gentle and kind-hearted woman. I just can't seem to smile naturally. I'm so sorry for holding everyone up.
It's all right, dear. You look stunning in your dress. I could watch you all day. Take your time with the photos.
Her kind words almost made me relax. But Mia, once again, barged in and ruined the mood.
Come on, Emma. Are you seriously going to inconvenience your in-laws before the wedding even starts? Sorry about my useless sister, everyone. You must be regretting this choice of bride, huh?
Mia, enough already. As I frowned, Monica gracefully stepped between Mia and me with a calm smile.
It's so sweet of you to come along for your sister's photo shoot. You must care about her a lot, but this is Emma and my son's special moment. So why don't we step over to the side for now, okay?
Monica gently took Mia's hand and guided her to a corner of the venue. But even from the sidelines, Mia glared daggers at me and clicked her tongue throughout the entire photo session, souring the atmosphere.
Mia, is she jealous I'm taking Emma away?
I'm sorry for everything. Having Mia around made everything 3 times as exhausting. Finally, the preparations were complete. This was the biggest event of my life. There was no such thing as being too prepared. So I checked everything one last time to make sure every contingency was covered. And then my wedding day arrived in a flash. Kevin and I left our new home together and headed to the venue, where we exchanged a quick "see you later" before heading to our separate dressing rooms. The moment has finally come to wear my dream wedding dress and vow eternal love to the person I cherish. A childhood dream is about to come true. As I approached the bride's room, my heart was racing with a mix of nerves and excitement. Just as I reached for the door, it suddenly swung open from the inside. Mia, what are you doing here? To my surprise, the person who emerged from the dressing room was Mia. When I asked her in shock, she hurriedly closed her bag and gave a mischievous grin.
Oh, I guess I mistook it for the restroom. This bride's room is kind of shabby. Is this really where you're getting ready? Poor thing. It suits you, though. Bye now.
She walked away nonchalantly. Even as a family member, it was far too early for her to be at the venue. Confused by her behavior, I stepped into the bride's room, only to be met with a sight that made my mind go blank. The bride's room was elegantly decorated with a serene and refined touch. Hanging there, however, was my wedding dress, shredded and utterly ruined. What is this? The ruined dress, with its torn tulle and lace, was unmistakably the one I had chosen to wear for my wedding. As I stood frozen in shock, the makeup and wardrobe staff entered the room. Seeing me standing in front of the destroyed dress, they were also horrified. I managed to ask why the room had been left unattended, and they explained that Mia had requested everyone to step out, claiming she wanted to surprise me with decorations. Could Mia really have done this? Why? I didn't want to believe it, but everything pointed to her. Her behavior ever since my engagement and the way she glared at me during the photo shoot replayed in my mind. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone and called Mia.
What do you want?
Mia answered almost immediately. Biting back tears, I demanded answers. Mia, what were you doing in my room earlier?
I already told you. I thought it was the bathroom. Are you seriously forgetting things already? You might want to get your head checked.
That's a lie. You tore up my dress, didn't you? As my emotions overflowed, Mia let out a mocking laugh.
Oh my god, your dress got destroyed? And you think it's me? That's hilarious. Honestly, karma must have hit you because you're such a terrible person. That's why your dress got ruined.
You sound way too happy about this. That alone proves you did it. Why would you do this to my dress?
This is such a drag. Do you have any proof it was me? Anyway, if I had to say something, it's that someone like you, ugly and rushing into marriage before me, was bound to mess things up. That shredded dress is perfect for you. I'm sure the groom and all the relatives will think so too.
With that, she hung up on me. And there I stood, staring at the dress that was beyond repair. The staff members, having left the room at Mia's insistence, were now apologizing profusely. But no matter how many apologies I received, the dress wasn't coming back. I couldn't bring myself to blame them and simply repeated, "It's okay," over and over. But would the wedding even happen now? Lost in despair, I barely registered the soft knock on the door.
Emma, are you getting ready? Oh my.
The person who entered the room was Monica. She had brought some refreshments for the staff. But as she stepped into the bride's room, which now felt more like a wake than a wedding, her expression turned serious.
This is awful. What happened to your dress?
Well, it's my sister, Mia. As I explained the situation, deflated and on the verge of tears, Monica nodded calmly.
I see. Good thing I prepared for the worst.
Prepared? What do you mean?
Listen, Emma, I have a suggestion.
Normally gentle and laid back, Monica suddenly adopted a firm and decisive expression as she proposed a plan to me. If Monica is going to help me, then I'll go all in. Fueled by her strategy, my despair turned into determination. I was no longer considering canceling my ceremony. I was ready to make it perfect. Just watch, Mia. I'm going to shine so brightly you'll regret everything you've done. With my spirits lifted, the staff enthusiastically rallied around me, dressing me up with even more care. Carrying a renewed sense of resolve, I stepped into the chapel, ready to face the most important day of my life. From the magnificent chapel built outside the venue, solemn music resounds. When the large doors in front of me opened, I saw my dad waiting to escort me down the aisle. At the end of the aisle stood the altar, where Kevin was waiting. As my dad and I began to walk down the aisle, a murmur rippled through the guests. Beside me, he was in tears. Kevin, unaware of the earlier drama, looked surprised. Through the veil, I sneaked a glance at Kevin's astonished face and couldn't help but chuckle softly. I then turned my gaze toward the bride's side of my family seating. There sat Mia, her expression frozen in utter disbelief. She had likely expected me to appear in a tattered or makeshift dress. Mia stood frozen, her mouth agape as she watched me make my entrance into the chapel. I walked past her and finally reached Kevin. After leaving my dad's side and taking Kevin's hand, I noticed Mia snapping out of her daze, nervously tugging at a handkerchief in her hands. By the time Kevin and I exchanged rings and shared our vows with a kiss, we were showered with flower petals as we exited the chapel. As we walked past Mia once more, the handkerchief she had been pulling on tore with an audible rip. It was amusing, but my intent had never been to humiliate Mia. I pushed her out of my mind and focused on savoring the joy of the moment. After taking group photos outside the chapel, we were guided to the reception venue. The ceremony went off without a hitch.
I was surprised. I never expected you to come out in that dress, Emma.
We shared a brief moment of conversation before heading back to our separate rooms. The atmosphere among the guests was light and cheerful as they began making their way to the reception. Suddenly, Mia stood bolt upright and yelled,
Hold it right there. Why are you wearing such a fancy dress?
Mia pointed accusingly at the dress I was wearing.
What's with the long veil and that tiara? Not to mention the sparkling neckline. Why is someone like you, uglier than me, strutting around in something so nice? You have no right to wear that. It's outrageous.
Her words were a mix of insults and grudging admiration. I could understand her envy. The dress truly was stunning. The veil was crafted from top-tier lace, flowing elegantly behind me. A luxurious Swarovski tiara adorned my head. The dress itself was made of glossy silk, with a voluminous train fit for a royal wedding. The bodice was tastefully embellished with sparkling Swarovski crystals. It doesn't matter who's beautiful or not. Every bride is beautiful and has the right to wear the dress of her dreams and enjoy her special day. Mia, you always look down on me and call me ugly. Who do you think you are?
Of course, beautiful people are better than ugly ones. It's only natural that ugly people have lower social standing. Isn't that right, everyone? Don't you all agree that I'm more polished and prettier?
Mia turned to the guests with a wicked smile, but they were all stunned into silence, including my parents. Mistaking their shock for agreement, Mia grew even more brazen.
See? I told you. I'm obviously the more beautiful one. And yet, I don't even have a boyfriend while Emma gets married first. I just can't accept it.
With that, she glared at me with fiery eyes and suddenly lunged at me.
It's such a waste for someone like you to wear that dress. Apologize to the dress and take it off now.
Mia, stop. This dress belongs to Monica. It's the wedding dress she wore on her own special day, and it's incredibly important to her. Don't touch it. As I resisted, the venue staff and Kevin quickly stepped in to pull Mia away from me. Though she struggled against the staff, my words seemed to strike a nerve, and she immediately calmed down.
What? So it's secondhand? You're wearing a used dress. Typical. Clinging to something old just screams poverty. And to think your mother-in-law stuck you with a hand-me-down. You're already being bullied by your in-laws. How pathetic.
I won't let that slide.
Monica interjected, stepping forward with a calm yet firm expression. As I looked up, Monica walked over to stand between Mia and me, smiling warmly.
That dress is a one-of-a-kind haute couture piece. When it was custom made, it cost around $200,000.
$200,000?
And with the rising prices of silk and Swarovski crystals, it might be worth even more now. Plus, I had it professionally preserved, so it's in perfect condition.
Mia's face turned pale. While the dress was visibly stunning, it seemed that mentioning its actual price hit her harder.
Why would you let Emma wear something like that?
Well, because Emma is such a kind, wonderful person and the best daughter-in-law I could ever ask for. I thought it would make me happy to see my treasured wedding dress worn by my treasured daughter-in-law.
That's not the point. Why on earth did you even have such a fancy dress ready?
It was clear that Mia had planned on destroying the original dress, believing there wouldn't be a backup. Monica turned to her with a sly smile.
Mia, you were glaring at Emma with such hatred during the pre-wedding photo shoot, weren't you? After we separated you, I noticed you kept zooming in on photos of her dress on your phone. I had a hunch you were planning something.
I thought you were just a clueless, absent-minded old lady.
Well, when your family has money, you develop a keen sense for malice from others.
Her comment was nonchalant, but Mia latched onto the word money.
Wait, you're rich? Does that mean Kevin is rich too? Handsome and wealthy? This makes even less sense. Why did he choose Emma?
Why I married Emma? Well, I was planning to share that in my speech during the reception.
Kevin blushed slightly, unfazed by Mia's outburst.
When we went out for our first meal together, Emma insisted on splitting the bill. I'd never encountered that before. It really surprised me. She even offered to share the rent for our new home and suggested splitting the wedding expenses equally.
Wait, what? Splitting the bill? That makes no sense. If Kevin's wealthy, he should cover everything. That's just being a responsible man, and Emma should have let him. That's how you support your man. You're such a failure as a woman.
That's exactly it. Every woman I dated before said the same thing. They only cared about my wallet. But Emma, she's independent. She's the first woman I've met who sees me as more than a paycheck. She's the only person I could imagine building a life with.
Kevin finished his statement firmly, adding, "There are plenty of other reasons too." Mia clicked her tongue in irritation.
Stop bragging. It's so annoying. Who cares? This reception is boring anyway. Why should I stick around for a party where someone as plain as Emma is the star? I might leave now.
Having vented enough, Mia shrugged and turned to leave, her dramatic anger now replaced by apathy. She'd always been like this, throwing tantrums with incredible force until her demands were met or she grew bored. I'd endured her chaotic personality for years as her older sister, but seeing her unchanged as an adult was a bigger problem. It was time for me to give her one final lesson as her sister. Before Mia could walk away, I grabbed her arm to stop her. "This is a good time to tell you, Mia. You'll need to pay for the dress you shredded." Mia scowled at me, her face twisting with indignation before she smirked smugly.
Pay for it? What are you even talking about? You have zero proof that I did anything to that dress. Keep dreaming.
She yanked her arm free and chuckled as if the situation amused her. It was clear she was thrilled with the destruction she'd caused. But if she thought she could get away with it, she was wrong. As she gloated, I smiled calmly and nodded. Unfortunately for you, the surveillance cameras caught everything. I had extra cameras installed in the bride's room just for today. If you'd like, we can take this to the police and pursue charges for property destruction. While I'd hate for a family member to get arrested at my wedding, I'll do it if I have to.
Wait, surveillance cameras? Are those some kind of wedding package add-on?
Finally, the smile vanished from Mia's face, replaced by an expression of shock and growing panic. Standing before her, I remained completely calm as I began to explain. No, it's not a standard package. I had them installed specifically for my wedding day. They'll be removed tomorrow.
Why do you even have the authority to install and remove them?
Because this venue is owned by my company.
You own this place? I thought you were just a boring office worker.
Whether I was boring or not wasn't the point, but Mia wasn't wrong. I used to work a regular office job. However, my passion for wedding dresses and ceremonies grew so strong that I decided to create my own ideal venue. With my savings and support from Monica, who also happens to invest, I launched this business and built a venue that fulfills every bride's dream.
This place? Your business? No way. I've never heard anything about this from Mom or Dad.
I asked them not to tell you. I knew you'd call me a plain, uppity office worker and try to tear me down. As I spoke, Mia's anger gave way to confusion, her expression softening as the truth sunk in. Her mind was clearly spinning, processing everything I'd revealed.
So now I have rich relatives? Does this mean you could introduce me to a wealthy guy?
Mia clapped her hands together as if she'd just had a brilliant idea. Even now, She was still focused on benefiting herself. Mia, do you really think I'd continue to associate with you after what you did? You destroyed something precious to me. I don't want to see you ever again.
Why would you say that? It was just a prank. I'll apologize. I'm sorry.
Mia offered a half-hearted apology, her face still plastered with a smug smile. Her flippant attitude made my temper finally snap. A prank? You think this is just a prank? I'll never forgive you. Sure, I'm grateful to be wearing Monica's stunning dress now, but I cherish the dress you shredded. You will pay for it in full.
You're serious about me paying for it? Do you have any idea how much a wedding dress costs? I don't have any savings.
If you don't pay, I'll file criminal charges. Did you really think you could get away with treating your sister, who you've insulted as plain and ugly since we were kids, like a punching bag? Think again. It's time for you to grow up. Faced with my fury, Mia crumbled, sinking weakly to the floor. Our parents were in tears, but this time, they weren't the happy tears from earlier at the ceremony. Honestly, making our parents this upset was a new low, even for her.
Emma, you were incredible. Just what I'd expect from a savvy businesswoman I invested in. I'm so lucky to have supported you and to see you wear that dress. Let's keep working together.
Mom, you stole my line. I'm the one who should be saying that to Emma.
Kevin said, his usual calm demeanor softening the moment. Their words made me smile, and I felt a wave of relief. After Mia was sent back to our parents' home to cool off, the rest of the reception proceeded smoothly. Despite the earlier drama, it turned out to be a perfect wedding where I strengthened my bond with Kevin's family. As for Mia, she was eventually kicked out of our parents' house. They even apologized to me, admitting they'd spoiled her too much and that they were furious about what she had done. Mia moved into a tiny apartment near our parents' home, as she couldn't afford to change jobs while repaying the cost of my dress. Staying in her hometown, however, meant she frequently ran into people who knew what happened at my wedding. Since we were close in age, the story spread quickly among old acquaintances. Every time Mia tried to reconnect with her friends, she was met with avoidance. Fed up, she eventually moved out of state. The move drained her meager savings, and her lengthy commute to work became another daily struggle. Her monthly salary and bonuses were mostly used to repay the dress, leaving her with barely enough to scrape by. Of course, there was no money left for her beloved makeup and fashion. She used to strut around her workplace, calling herself the company's fashion leader. But now she spends her days quietly working in disheveled attire, occasionally glaring enviously at her coworkers. Her sole remaining outlet seemed to be social media. Every day, she posted overly dramatic, "I'm depressed" updates, driving away the few friends she had left. Meanwhile, Kevin and I continued our happy married life. Kevin thrived in his career, and as for me, I embarked on an exciting new project inspired by Monica, creating original wedding dresses for our venue. Encouraged by the investor's words, if you love wedding dresses, you're bound to create designs that brides will adore. I spent every day tirelessly working alongside my staff on the unfamiliar task of dressmaking. While it was hard work, collaborating with my team to create dresses from beautiful tulle, lace, and silk brought me immense joy. Sometimes, thinking about the dress Mia destroyed still stung. But looking at the photos of me wearing Monica's exquisite dress and pledging eternal love to Kevin helped heal those wounds. Most of all, seeing brides wear the dresses I created on the happiest day of their lives brought me a whole new kind of fulfillment. Every day, I'm grateful for Kevin, who chose to marry me, and Monica, who supported me both in my work and during the dress fiasco. And perhaps surprisingly, I'm even a little grateful to Mia for reminding me how deeply I love wedding dresses.